NCTV presents this program in color.
From the Langford studio at Newberry College, this is Wolf Weekly. I'm Adeline Jendell.
And I'm Marissa Boykin. The men's volleyball team has fought hard on its first season, facing challenges along the way and dealing with a steep learning curve, and looking for some victories as the season comes to an end. Last week, they played at Tusculum, then returned to Newberry to finish the season at home. Last Thursday, they took on Carolina University, and here's Brady Triplett with the report.
Last Thursday night at Eleazer Arena, the Newberry College men's volleyball team had a strong showing as they swept Carolina University in 3 straight sets, winning 25-13, 25-12, and 25-21. As fans filled the stands and the energy built in the gym, the Wolves were ready to defend their home court. Right from the start, the Wolves came out with a lot of energy and never really let up. Early serves set the tone, and quickly points helped Newberry build momentum fast. They played really well as a team, finishing with a .373 hitting percentage and keeping the pressure on Carolina U. With 9 service aces, each ace brought more energy to the bench and the crowd, making it tough for Carolina to respond. Newberry also did a great job on defense, holding Carolina U to just a .095 hitting percentage. Long rallies showed the team's hustle, with players diving and communicating to keep the ball alive. It seemed like every time Carolina tried to get something going, the Wolves were there to stop it. Peterson Anderson led the team with 11 kills and had a big impact offensively. His strong swings and key points helped keep the Wolves in control. Timothy Cox also had a solid game, adding 8 kills and 8 digs to help out both at the net and in the back row. His all-around play made a difference on both offense and defense. Grayson Crumpton helped run the offense with 20 assists, setting up his teammates all night. Smooth sets and smart decisions kept the attack balanced. Ignacio Rodriguez stood out for the service line with 3 aces, helping Newberry stay in control of the match. Each serve added pressure and kept Carolina on their heels. Overall, it was a complete team win for the Wolves. They stayed in control the entire time. From the first point to the final whistle, Newberry showed confidence and teamwork. Newberry will be back at Eleazer Arena tomorrow for their final home game of the season against Life University at 4 p.m., where they'll try to keep the momentum going. With one last chance to play at home, the Wolves will look to finish strong in front of their fans.
As Newberry will play host to Life. And of course, this is a Wolves victory.
And the Wolves took Carolina University in straight sets last week in their next to last game, but went on to lose the season-ending game to Life University on Saturday. We'll have more on that later on in the program. And Adeline, I know you're a student athlete, and I know that these kind of pressures are hard for students towards the end of the season. So can you talk me through what that pressure is like and what the season winds down for student athletes and how that looks?
Throughout the end of the season, we're really just struggling with trying to make that conference tournament. So as students, athletes, we're really just making sure that our grades are kept up just to be able to keep our heads in the matches. And at the end of the season, we're just trying to make sure that we get to that conference tournament so we can go further in that. As a softball player, we have 2 game day left, which means four games total. And right now we're kind of pushing lower, so we're just fighting and just trying to get every win that we possibly can.
And what do you think is going through the minds of some of your teammates right now as this season is coming to an end?
I think just a lot of just keeping your head down and keep working hard. You can't really look at like past 2 games. You have to keep 1 game at a time, and every single at bat is just what takes you to that win, and it's every pitch.
And for other student athletes, what do you think could be some challenges for them towards the end of the season?
I mean, keeping strong and keeping healthy. By the end of the season, you know, a lot of bodies are hurting, especially if you're a starter for a while or playing a lot of playing time. So just making sure that you're strong and healthy throughout the whole season just to be able to play to the end.
Awesome. And as we said, we'll have more about the men's volleyball team and the end of their season later on in the program. Wolves Weekly will continue in a moment.
I surrender.
All right, pal. Get ready for the day, buddy.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
What's up?
Do we have a gun?
Some people judge a book by its cover, and if you're not what people are looking for, you're kind of like a reject.
School, it feels like everyone's staring at me, and I'm just kind of not really a person.
It just feels hard today. Nobody was listening to me.
And I'll try to understand me more, and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at soundidouttogether.org.
This is Wolves Weekly. I'm DeAndre Coleman. Newberry College has many talented and respected professors and mentors to guide students, but perhaps none of them is as popular with students and colleagues as Dr. John Lesaine, Associate Dean and Associate Athletics Director for Student Athlete Success. Dr. Lesaine, welcome back to Wolves Weekly.
Thank you, DeAndre. It's so good to be back here, to see you and all your hairs looking so good. One thing I must say is Wolves Weekly is simply the best.
Now, you're the Associate AD for Student Athlete Success. What are some of the issues that you see that student athletes go through on a day-to-day?
I think some of the issues that I see that our student athletes go through on a daily basis, priority and time management. I think sometimes some people know how to manage their priorities and how to manage their times, and some people do not know how to do so. So one of my jobs is to help make sure that I can give our student athletes or provide our student athletes and our coaches with resources to help them with that particular type of issue.
What would you say would be something that gets in the way of student athletes?
I think something that I would have to say that probably gets in the way of our student athletes, let's see here. Oh, goodness gracious. What is that? No, that's just me just thinking?
Yeah, you
okay.
think.
One thing I would have to say that probably gets in the way of our student athletes is understanding that when you think you have a lot of free time, you absolutely don't have a lot of free time. And you could be filling your free time with things that are important that you need to get done.
Now, you played the role of a coach, athlete, referee. What are some of those, those experiences that you learned?
Goodness gracious. There's so many different ways that I can go with that. From my coaching experience, I've learned how to manage people, how to organize myself, how to organize other people, how to get them in certain places that they need to go, how to motivate people. And I've been successful, won a couple of championships, so to God be the glory for that. Refereeing is a whole nother different story, man. It's a whole nother different story, but I do enjoy it. I consider myself to be a guardian of the game. Got to make sure that everybody is abiding by the rules, playing fairly, and I get people yell. That's all I'm gonna say. People yell. That's all I'll say.
Now, for somebody that wants to be that following your footsteps, what's some advice that you could give them?
I would honestly have to say to follow in my footsteps is to let's see here. First and foremost, you have to make sure that you have a passion for helping people and for helping people to be the best version of themselves. But also, in order to help people do that, you got to be the best version of yourself. I think there's one thing that I would say: you have to have a heart for helping people to become the best version of themselves.
Yes, sir. Now, you have two messages that you're famous for. One is eat and leave no crumbs, and the other is unapologetic greatness. Can you give me a little bit of the background on what that means to you?
Sure. So when we talk about eating and leaving no crumbs, it's all about making sure that you live a life of excellence every single day. Every single thing that you put your mind to, every single thing that is in front of you, you got to make sure that you do it, you got to do it well. We talk about that plate of food. If the food is good, you're going to make sure that you eat that thing. You're going to use your utensils like you need to, and you're going to make sure that you leave no crumbs, because that's what absolutely needs to happen. So that's what we mean by eating and leaving no crumbs. Living a life of excellence, unapologetically. Now, when we talk about unapologetic greatness, that is, we all have gifts and talents that God has blessed us with. And He's given those to us to help the world out. So be unapologetic about how good of a person you are, but also you got to remain humble at the same time.
Right. Now, finally, what can you give us about some of your other roles that you do on campus?
Oh man, serving as an academic advisor for several students, making sure that they're on track to graduate, making sure that they go into class like they're supposed to, making sure they get in the grades that they're supposed to have. Another role that I have on campus, I serve as the assistant site coordinator for the Call Me Mr. program, which is a teaching program, so helping mentor our students as far as that goes. And just from an overall standpoint, serving as a mentor to not only student athletes, but all students across campus.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, we've been speaking to Dr. John Lesaine, Associate AD for Student Athlete Success. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, DeAndre. I appreciate you and your hair. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Wolves Weekly will continue in a moment.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane! Woo! You got this!
You're watching NCTV-Newberry.
For anyone involved in athletics, whether they're a player or a coach, it's important to have people who cheer for you when the times are good and encourage you when times are rough. No kind of support, however, can make as much as support that comes from your own family. Last year, Wolves Weekly introduced us to someone who is very special to head football coach Todd Knight, and he has always been his biggest champion.
Becky Knight is the loving sister of Todd Knight, who is the head football coach at Newberry College. Regardless of the outcomes of the games, you can always find her cheering on her little brother from the stands.
Ever since I can remember 3rd, 4th grade, she was at everything. Mom and Dad worked, obviously, this was a long time ago, to support the family. So she kind of driving me back and forth, that kind of thing, because Mom was at work. And she, to my knowledge, I don't think she's ever missed a game. From 3rd or 4th grade all the way through high school, all the way through college, even coaching to this day. I mean, I'm 58 years old. She still comes to every game.
We've been following him all through high school, all through college, all through his coaching career, which has been about 34, 35 years with total years of coaching. He's been here 20 years, yes. Been in the conference, the first conference, boy, that was the highlight. And I remember when we hugged each other on the field, and I said, "Take it in, baby. Take it all in, because these are few and far between." Little did I know they was going to go back to back that year, so which was awesome as well.
She would come early and iron my clothes, and it got to a point one time to where every time she ironed my pants, we won. And it was a big deal. It didn't matter if we were on the road 10 hours away, she was going to be there early to iron my pants. And I even talked about it to a bunch of recruits, and the guys that came back to different games, they brought it up to me. Now, Coach, has your sister ironed your pants today? Because everybody was kind of made sure she did that, hoping that we would win.
And he and I probably was involved in sports more than the others. Now, my other two brothers, they played football as well, but Todd was the standout football player, and he is the baby of the six. So, we all kind of went wherever he went. And Mom and Dad, the entire time that we played sports, I never looked in the stands, nor Todd looked off the field, and our parents wasn't there. And our parents instilled in us that family is so important. That's the most important thing. And so it's easy to follow him, besides the fact that I just love him. That's a given, but I just always have enjoyed watching him play, watching him coach. We've seen him at the highs, we've seen him at the lows. And when Todd first started playing in the 4th grade, I brought him his first pair of little black cleats. And he wanted to quit one day, he said, because all the other boys were so much older in the 5th grade. He said, and he happened to look down at his little black cleats and said, "Oh, I can't quit because she believes in me."
Every time I would think about quitting, walking away, I would look down and see those black cleats and say, I can't because she bought me these cleats, I can't quit football. So it's crazy to look back all those years and think just a pair of old black cleats, if I didn't have those cleats, I don't know where I'd be today. I think my senior year, I'd had a couple of concussions and struggling. And back in those days, they'd let you play with a concussion, so it didn't matter. And I was struggling, and on the sidelines, I'd had a towel over my head because my head was just killing me, and I couldn't focus very well. And I took the towel off at one point, and I seen her in the stands looking at me, and kind of gave me enough energy to continue. And that was big for me. She used to write me letters back when people did handwritten letters, and she numbered them. She was like, "This is letter number 1, I'm proud of you," letter. And she wrote all the reasons why she was proud of me. And then a couple of weeks later, letter number 2, I'm proud of you. Letter number 3, I'm proud of you. Letter 12, I'm proud of you. That kept me going in college. I'll never forget that. It's one of those things like, I was a pretty decent high school football player, but just like everybody else, when you step into the college game, everybody's good. And as a freshman, you get down. That's tough. You know, I talk about this with our kids all the time. Making it through that first year is the toughest year. If I wouldn't have had those handwritten letters, I'm not sure I'd be here right now.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
Welcome back to Wolves Weekly. I'm Adeline Jendell, along with Marissa Boykin, and now let's take a look at what's been happening in Newberry College athletics over the last week. The baseball team defeated Mount Olive 10-9 last Tuesday at Florence, South Carolina. Newberry scored 3 runs each in the first and second innings and held off a late last push by Mount Olive by adding runs in the 8th and 9th inning. Jomar Lugo went 4-6, scoring 3 runs and driving 2. The Wolves were then off to North Carolina to face conference rival Wingate in the 3-game series. They took the first game Friday afternoon by score of 4-2, posting only 2 runs in the 3rd inning. They then took the first game of Saturday's doubleheader 6-5, scoring 3 runs in the 1st inning and building a lead throughout the game while holding a late rally by Wingate. In the 2nd game of the doubleheader, Wingate jumped out early and defeated the Wolves 25-7. The Wolves are now 24-17, 17-9 in the conference, and they'll play USC Aiken on Wednesday night.
The softball team played a conference doubleheader at Emory and Henry on Saturday. In the first game, the Wolves' only hit was a solo home run in the 5th inning, but the Wasps put down any chance at a comeback by scoring 6 runs in the 6th inning. In the second game, Emory and Henry scored 6 runs in the 1st inning and pulled away early while holding the Wolves to 1 run and 6 hits. The Wolves are now 14-22 overall, 5-11 in the conference, and will play a doubleheader against conference rival Wingate at the Smith Road Complex on Wednesday afternoon.
The men's lacrosse team defeated Lincoln Memorial 17-11 at Harrogate, Tennessee on Saturday. The Wolves generated 54 total shots and scored 5 of the game's first 6 goals. 12 players scored goals, with 5 players scoring 2 goals each. The Wolves also forced 24 turnovers and held a late game push by Lincoln Memorial. The Wolves are now 10-4 overall and 6-2 in the conference and will play Tusculum at Setzler Field in the conference match Saturday night.
The women's lacrosse team also defeated Lincoln Memorial on Saturday, posting a 14-12 win. The Wolves scored the first 4 goals of the game in the opening quarter. Although Lincoln Memorial took the lead in the second, the Wolves rallied to take a 7-6 lead into the half. Lena Howell dominated the second half, scoring 6 goals on 7 shots and recording her 100th career draw control. The Wolves are now 7-8 overall, 4-4 in the conference, and will be on the road to face Catawba on Wednesday afternoon.
The men's volleyball team fell to Tusculum in the straight sets last Tuesday at Greenville, Tennessee. The Wolves fought hard, making a push in the 3rd set. Preston Anderson led 13 kills, with Grayson Crumpton recorded 28 assists. And as you saw earlier, the Wolves defeated Carolina University in straight sets at Eleazer Arena on Thursday. The Wolves hit 373 as a team with a 9-service acres. The Wolves completed their season at home against Life University on Saturday, where Newberry fought closely in the 1st set until Life pulled away and took the win in straight sets. With the loss, the men's volleyball team ends in their first season with the record of 6 wins and 16 losses.
The track teams competed at the Southside Power and Fitness Invitational at Hickory, North Carolina on Friday and Saturday. Kenton Proctor took first in the men's javelin, while Ryan Wright prevailed in the men's pole vault, and Cassidy Bouchard took first in the women's 400-meter hurdles. In other highlights, Olivia Hare took fourth in the women's 1,500-meter run, and Drew Benson took fourth in the men's 3,000-meter steeplechase. Landon Tucker was fifth in the men's 400-meter hurdles, and in the men's long jump, Kahuta Brown took third, and Nigel Landrum took seventh. Kiori Butler finished sixth in the women's shot put, while Jaden Gaddison and Jackson Moody took 9th and 10th in the men's shot put. The track teams will compete this weekend at South Carolina State University Invite in Orangeburg.
The tennis teams took on Croker University last Tuesday in Newberry. The men's lost 4-0, with Croker taking the double point early and then taking 3 single victories. The women's defeated Croker 4-1, winning 2 of the 3 double matches and taking their single wins. On Saturday, the tennis teams were in Jefferson City, Tennessee, to face Carson Newman. The men's took 2 wins in doubles to claim the double point, but Carson Newman responded with 4 consecutive wins in the single matches and defeated Newberry 4-1. The women's team took a 4-2 win by winning the double point and winning 3 of the first 4 completed single matches. With the win, Newberry's women's team takes the number 4 seed in South Atlantic Conference tournament on April 16th.
And as always, you can find the latest updates on everything in Newberry College athletics at newberrywolves.com. There you'll find the latest scores and conference standings, news updates, highlights, team schedules, and rosters, ticket information, and everything else you would want to know. It's all available to you anytime you want it and anywhere you are at newberrywolves.com. And now, here's what's coming up in Newberry athletics in the next week. And that's all for this edition of Wolves Weekly. I'm Marissa Boykin.
And I'm Adeline Jindell. Join us next time for more Wolves Weekly.
Keep up to date on the latest in Newberry College athletics with Wolves Weekly, available on Flow Sports and produced by NCTV-Newberry.